People keep asking what Grok Bot is for. Wrong question. The question is which jobs you'll hand it this week. I wire operator bots against real recurring work on my Mac Studio, not against demo theater. This video is a tactical map of B2B jobs that survive a real week, so you can choose without a live product tour. So you get 8 clusters as a menu and a way to pick 3. After watching, you can name 3 bots with 1 job each, know the artifact each owes you, and place your human gate before send, spin, or publish. On screen, you'll see the 8 cluster map, the starter trio, and the tourism mistakes. Your first action is listing 3 weekly jobs that already eat those hours. Let's build smarter together and enjoy this video.
Hey, I'm Johnny Nel. I spent years building businesses the old hard way, managing teams, scaling operations, and doing everything manually. Today, everything I built, from automations and no-code infrastructures to fully AI SaaS products, has AI helping in one way or another. Firstly, let me quickly show you this. In South Africa, we call this a braai. I build with AI tools that, in my opinion, anyone can learn to use. My mission is simple: to help creators, entrepreneurs, and business owners get clarity with AI. Let's build smarter together and enjoy this video.
Quick thing before we go further. Why listen to me on this? I run production agent work every day across content systems, research, and the approval gates that keep a bot from publishing without me. I'm not here to sell you a feature list. I'm here to show you the jobs that survive contact with a real week. And guys, SpaceX AI is not paying me for this. Nobody there asked for this video. Take from it what makes sense for your context. Before the map, you need one rule, because without it, this whole conversation collapses into toys. A use case only counts if the bot essentially owns the loop from input to work to artifact. Not a chat that chats back at you. A finished thing you can open, review, and file. Like a digest, a draft queue, a research brief, a cleaned account note, etc. And the second half of the rule is non-negotiable in my opinion. You keep a human gate on send, spend, and publish, which means the bot can prepare the work and you still decide what leaves the building. And you might be thinking, Johnny, isn't the whole point that it just does it? That used to be the pitch. It isn't the operating standard if your name is on the email, the invoice, or the post. Prepare wide, then approve narrow. So that's the filter we'll use on every cluster coming up. So the way I see it, there are 8 operator clusters, and this is a menu, not 100 disconnected tips. Outbound and Go-to-Market sit next to CRM and Account Intel, then calls that become living systems, then content ads and competitor watch. Ifs support enablement and risk protect the weak, while chief of staff handles focus. And then you've got engineering, data, and the bot fleet, plus onboarding and knowledge systems for humans joining the work. I'm going to go deep on 4 of those, then lighter on the rest, because you do not need equal time on every box. You need enough signal to recognize your own week on the board. If a cluster doesn't match your business, skip it. The point is choosing, not completing the set. Let's start with outbound and go-to-market, because this is where people either win hours back or create a mess in public. The job I've seen operators hand over first is not write me a cold email. It's a follow-up machine with a gate. Your bot watches the CRM stages, the calendar, and the last touch. Then drafts the next message in your voice with the context attached. You approve before send. That last sentence is the whole product. A second job in this cluster is research before the call. The bot pulls the company's site, recent posts, hiring pages, and a short risk list into one page. You can skim in 3 minutes. You walk into the meeting with a brief, not with 12 open tabs. And a third one is the weekly pipeline narrative, not a dashboard dump. A short note that says which deals moved, which stalled, and which accounts need a human this week. Now, I know what you guys might be thinking, Johnny, won't this spam people? It will if you remove the gate. So what you do is you let the bot own drafting and sequencing. You keep approval on every first touch and every sensitive follow-up. And you tighten the voice rules until the drafts sound like you on a focused day. So that's outbound as an owned loop, not as demo theater. Then there's CRM and Account Intel. And this is where Grok Bot's shape starts to matter for operators. Most teams don't have a CRM problem. They have a nobody updated the record problem. The bot job is to turn call notes, email threads, and meeting scraps into clean account fields and a next step note a human can trust. Input is the messy conversation. Artifact is a record your future self won't hate. The differentiator moment people keep describing is the Salesforce-shaped one. Your bot is signed into the CRM inside its own cloud browser. You're on your phone, you ask it to update the opportunity, attach the summary, and stage the follow-up draft. And then that work can keep moving from your phone with your laptop shut. Dude, I'm not promising your CRM will love every click on day one. I'm saying the pattern is real enough that operators are already pointing bots at the ugly systems that never got a clean API. And guys, take into consideration what you let it touch. Read-only plus draft updates is a sane first week. Broad edit rights on live revenue records is how you earn a long apology. So that's CRM as account memory with a leash, not as a second inbox you ignore. Next is the cluster that compounds for your company. Calls into living systems. You already have the recordings. Most teams turn them into a transcript graveyard. The better pattern is one bot that owns extraction to systems your people actually open. One version is a living FAQ. After sales and support calls, your bot drafts FAQ updates from the questions that repeated this week. You approve the wording. Your page stays current without a quarterly rewrite project. Another version is win-loss. After a closed won or closed lost call, the bot drafts a short pattern note. What they bought, what they feared, what almost killed the deal, and drops it into your running library. Over a month, that library gets sharper than gut feel in the stand-up. And then there's the follow-up system after the call. Your bot drafts the client email, the internal handoff, and the task list, then waits. You approve the client-facing piece. Internals can move faster once you trust the template. If you're thinking this sounds like busy work automation, sit with what it replaces in your week. It replaces the hour after every call where the truth evaporates because nobody had time to file it. So that's calls becoming systems you can use, not souvenir transcripts. And guys, if you want the map already laid out, so you're not rebuilding this from a pause and rewatch, that pack is waiting for you inside the AI Founders Vault. You've got the 8 cluster jobs map, the starter trio briefs, the approve before send checklist, and the community with the rest of the guys building this in practice. The link is down in the description below. Now back to the episode, because Chief of Staff is the cluster most founders should steal first. Chief of Staff and Focus is the starter pack for a lot of founders who don't want 20 bots on day one. The Morning Digest is the cleanest first win I've seen. Mail, calendar, and chat get scanned into one page you can run your morning from. Decisions waiting, meetings that need prep, messages that actually matter, and the noise to ignore. The artifact is the page. The human gate is what you choose to act on. Beside that sits a focus bot. You give it your week, your priorities, and the meetings you already accepted, and it proposes what to protect, what to decline, and what to batch. You still make the call. It just stops your calendar from lying to you. And the third piece is the rewrite desk. Paste a messy update, a proposal paragraph, a tough message, and ask for 3 tones. Direct, warm, and firm, then pick. That sounds small until you notice how much of your week is rewriting under time pressure. And you might be thinking, Johnny, isn't this just another chatbot with a calendar plugin? It only counts if the digest arrives as a routine, on a schedule, as an artifact waiting for you, while the bot's machine keeps working even when you're offline. Chat is a place. A chief of staff bot is a shift. So that's the week running layer, and it's usually where people should start. Ops support, enablement, and risk is the cluster that protects your week while sales gets the glory. Support draft queues are the obvious one. Your bot reads the ticket, pulls the matching SOP, and drafts a reply for a human to send. Same rule as outbound, draft is cheap and send is sacred. Enablement sits next to that. After you ship a change, the bot turns the release notes into a short internal brief for the team that has to explain it to customers. Your support people stop learning product updates through angry tickets. Then there's risk in plain language. 2 jobs matter early for your company. One is, what did we promise? Where the bot searches proposals, emails, and call notes before you renew or escalate. The other is a security question desk for the boring questionnaires. Draft answers from your approved source pack, then a human signs them. Bear in mind this cluster is where over-permission hurts you most. A support bot with send rights and a thin SOP is not speed for your team. It's a future incident. So that's ops as protection for your reputation, not as backlog cosplay. For founders with a builder bot in the mix, engineering, data, and fleet spend deserve a lighter pass. The useful eng jobs for you are the ones with a clear artifact. A bot that turns a bug thread into a reproduction brief. A bot that drafts the changelog from merged work. A bot that watches a metrics page on a routine and writes your weekly what moved note. You are not handing it production deploys on week 1. In my view, fleet means you stop stuffing every job into one megabot. Your outbound bot has a description. Your support bot has a description. Research has its own. Plugins can be shared across them, but the job descriptions stay separate on purpose. Because a bot that is my whole company is most probably careful at nothing. And if you're watching your seat cost, the fleet question is not how many bots you can create. It's how many owned loops are worth a machine running in your background. So let's build and fleet as intentional roles for your stack, not as a pile of tabs. Onboarding and knowledge systems is the quiet cluster that pays you back every hire and every forgotten decision. Meeting prep is the small door. Before a recurring meeting, the bot pulls the last notes, open actions, and related docs into one brief. Knowledge capture is the bigger door. After decisions, the bot drafts the wiki update from the meeting artifacts, so your source of truth is not Slack archaeology. The first week plan is the one I'd steal if I were onboarding someone next Monday. The bot builds a day-by-day plan from your actual docs, tools, and people map. What to read, who to meet, which systems to touch, and which questions to bring to the buddy check-in. Your new person gets a path. You stop rebuilding the same welcome thread from memory. This isn't a second brain slogan. It's a first week that does not depend on chasing people. So that's knowledge as an operating system for humans joining the work. So how do you pick your first 3 without turning this into a second job? Use 3 filters: painful weekly hours, a clear artifact, a safe human gate. If a job fails any one of those, it waits. The starter trio I keep coming back to looks like this. 1. A morning digest across mail, calendar, and chat. 2. Outbound or follow-up drafting with approve before send. 3. 1 systems bot, either a call FAQ updater or a support draft queue. Those 3 teach you routines, gated outbound, and living systems without asking you to rebuild the company. Write each bot's description like a job post. Basically, what it owns, what it never touches, what done looks like. Then run them for a week before you add a 4th. And guys, your context is your context. No outcomes guaranteed here. This is a map, not a prescription. So that's the choosing rule, and it beats collecting 20 half-built bots. A few mistakes will waste your seed faster than a bad model ever will. Feature tourism is the first one. You click every preset, teach nothing durable, and judge the product on novelty. If you have no artifact by Friday, you didn't run a use case. The second is removing your gates on send and spend because the demo felt smooth. Smooth is not the same as safe for your name. Put the gate back before your reputation finds out. The third is the megabot. One description that tries to be sales, support, researcher, and chief of staff for you. Split the jobs. Shared plugins are fine. Shared judgment usually isn't. And the fourth, please take into consideration real client data in your demos and experiments. Use fictional accounts, scrubbed samples, or a clean workspace until the loop is boring. Boring is the goal. So that's the avoid list, and it will save you a louder lesson later. Big takeaways for me was this. Count the job only when the bot owns input, work, and artifact. Keep the human gate on send, spend, and publish. Start with a morning digest, gated follow-ups, and 1 systems bot, then expand from proof rather than from excitement. For our challenge, this lines up perfectly because the whole point is building operator systems that move real work without turning your company into an unsupervised experiment. I can't say too much as of yet, but next up I want to go deeper on the edge cases that break a clean brief once a bot is living in your week. Which of the 8 clusters matches the hours you're already bleeding? Drop it down in the comments. I'll be reading through them, and if you want the jobs map, the starter trio briefs, and the approve before send checklist ready to copy, that's inside the AI Founders Vault with the community. The link is down in the description below. If you feel called to it, subscribe to follow the journey. See you in the next one.